Hello, hello, my plannerets. Can you hear me? Yep, an impromptu live stream again because it is 11:30 p.m. on a Saturday night here in Sydney, Australia, and I had a nice nap um, around about 3 or 4 o'clock, and I am wide awake. And I thought instead of sitting on the couch and just doom scrolling, why not use my time more effectively and do some creative stuff? So I thought I hadn't actually planned or set up a cover page for my July planner pages. So I have that. But I thought I'd try my hand out on watercoloring because, I purchased paintbrushes. I already had the watercolor. I'll go through all the stuff I have here in a second. But, and I have borrowed this book, Lettering with Love, from the library. And this is the second round that I have borrowed it. And I think I've only looked at it twice. So I thought before I have to return it, why not go and try out some stuff? So I'm not an expert. I like to draw. I like to paint. I'm okay as long as I follow instructions, and then I deviate from the things and I'll try my own thing. So if you are a watercolorist or a painter or someone who knows a lot more than I do, bear with me. I'm probably maybe doing the wrong techniques, but this is all about doing it messy, doing it scared, and just trying your hand out at new arts and crafts and new hobbies. And this is part of what I talk about when I talk about self-care. So if you are here in the live with me, make sure you say hello. I know I didn't do a lot of promotion for this because I just set up the live stream probably about 5 minutes ago. But if you are here, keep me company. I'll see how long I last until I start getting sleep, because I want to make sure that I do go to bed early, because I do have a live brain dump session for my private membership. So I don't want to be, what do you call it, sleepy. So this is Lettering with Love, The Simple Art of Handwriting with Watercolor Embellishment by Sue Hippler and Yasmin Reddick. And so I do have the Amazon affiliate link if you do want to check it out as well. So I'm just going to flip through and see if there's anything that, oh, that's pretty, catches my fancy. So I'll do a flip through without showing all of the book, because of course, I want to make sure I'm not imposing on anyone's copyright without you purchasing or borrowing the book yourself. So I'm just going to have a look. So it goes through the different little techniques, what you need. And I want to see, and then it gives you ideas on how to do it. I think that's too much for me. Oh, I like this one, maybe. Oh, that looks good. And then maybe I can do July in the middle. So let me grab my... Hello, Laura. Nice to see you. Thank you so much for joining me. Good morning from Costa Rica. It is evening here in Sydney, Australia, 11:30 p.m. And if you've just joined, I said, I had a nap mid-afternoon because it's Saturday, and I can't sleep. That's beautiful as well, but that's probably too much. We're gonna do simple. Oh, that's cute too. But it is winter here in Sydney, Australia. And, an icy pole or an ice block might just be a little too cold for me for July. Winter in July. Hello, Charlotte. Nice to see you. How are you? Thank you so much for joining me. So yes, I'm going to just do a watercoloring, and use it for... Oh, that's pretty as well. Oh, but is that too advanced? Look, let's put a little sticky note tab. Sometimes we gotta push ourselves, don't we? Oh, that's a nice easy... Well, I say easy, but maybe I can, maybe something simple and just put July and try that. That's probably too much for me to try. Let's have a look. So, like I said, I am not an expert, so we will just go with the flow, hey? Oh, that's so cool. You got different type of pot plants that you can use, and then it has all the lettering at the back. So we'll look at that when I have to go and look at July. So I flagged, I like that one. Is that going to be too much though? Am I, or maybe this one. Let's do this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my Sunstar book clip, which is great because it's got this rounded bit here. So then it allows for the spine of the book. And then I've got my IKEA. I think this is a a book stand, or you can use it for your iPad if you're in the kitchen and you're cooking. I don't think I'll need my keyboard, so I'll pop that there. And I'll make some room here. So let me see if you can see a little bit of it. So I have, hello Irene, good morning. Finally can watch you. Yes, I'm 11:30 here on a Saturday, and I thought, you know what, let's do it. Let's do it. So yeah, that's a lovely book. Yes, so have a check of the description. I've added the my Amazon affiliate link, Lettering with Love. And so now I didn't look at all the instructions on how to make these things, but maybe I should, shouldn't I? Yeah, let's have a look. So of course, if you are, following along, okay, let's go follow what it says. So this is watercolor paper. I've just cut it in half. I purchased an A4 size here, and so whatever watercolor paper you can get your hands on. So of course, if you can also paint on normal paper, make sure it's a little bit thicker, so then it's, the water doesn't seep through to the other side and it doesn't warp. But I'm fine if it warps a little bit too. So A4, and then I just cut it in half. Okay, so that's the watercolor. Now the paint, watercolor paint that I'm using is the Koi Watercolors Pocket Filled Sketchbook. So I've had this for a long time because I thought, Marianne, let's start being creative and start doing some watercoloring. This is great because, like it says, it's a filled one. So you've got the tray, and you can have the tray sitting either. See, it's got the little stand. You can have the tray sitting here, or you can have the tray sitting there. So I think I'm going to put it here. And it also comes with a brush. I won't be using this brush today, but it comes with a brush. Then you can fill it with water, and then it's got a little stopper there, and then all you do is fill it up with water and then pop the brush portion of it. Is that the right one? Brush portion of it. I don't know if that's the right one. It should be. Think it's just gone inside. Anyway, I'm not using this one today. So I wonder, maybe that's probably why I'm not using it. And then it's got the little tray in there. And then I think this sponges maybe is to maybe, I don't know, do your brush off the color of your paintbrush. And then I'm going to use this is mist sprayer. And so I couldn't find it in an Amazon store, but I've just put mist sprayer. And so I've just added some water, and that's how I'll add water onto my tray. And I've got my paper towel. I've got my little tub to clean the brushes. Let me just pop that there. And what else? And then I interviewed, as part of a challenge I did for eCam, I interviewed one of the eCam members who's a watercolorist. And so if you scroll down a little bit onto my Instagram page, you'll see I did an interview. That was our challenge, was interview, live interview using the eCam live software. So she recommended get acrylic brushes. So I've got all a set here in different sizes. I don't know what size I'll use, but we'll play along. We'll play along. All right, so I've got my paper. Now it says draw a large circle in pencil. So, and of course, I don't have my pencil because I was using it over there. Let me see if I can find a pencil here. Yay, I've got a pencil. Now, I need a big circle. I'm trying to see a circle. I wonder if my little, is that going to be, whoo, look at that. Perfect. My little neon, see, neon light. Let's have a look. Is that the middle? That's the middle. Do I want it in the middle? Maybe a little bit further up because it's going to have these little roses. So I might have it a little bit higher. Okay. And just draw and trace the circle. I can't see. All right. Draw and trace a large circle. And I guess you can also just freehand a circle. Okay, so it doesn't have to be perfect. That looks good. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you can see a little bit more. That neon light is so cute. Yeah, so let's see. You know, you can, okay, so I had also a neon light, so that's on the stand, but I had one that you can put on the wall and then it connects by a USB charger, but I did something to it. I think I pinched the cord behind a desk or something, so it wasn't working. And but I just use it as a nice little decoration on my wall. Draw a large circle in pencil. This can be done freehand or using a pair of compasses or a round object. We do that and designed as a template. Make sure that the circle is the same distance from the edge of the paper. Yep, because I already pre-punched my hole punch there. So that's 2 finger space. That's 2 finger space. Cool, we're already right on track. This will make the finished wreath more balanced, okay? Sketch a shape of the rose, all right? So I've got the rose there. Let's see. So let's make a big circle first. So I'm not following the instructions on here. So we've got the little petals there, so the little folds. I'm just making it up as I go. So then that way you can see that, you know, we just follow the little instructions. And does that look all right? Sketch the shape. You can make the flowers as large and eye-catching as you like. Place it on the wreath wherever you like. Here we thought it looked nice at the bottom. Okay, so there we go. Add leaves. Okay, so let's go a leaf here, a leaf here, leaf here, leaf there, and a leaf there. And of course you can still do this with brush pens, so it doesn't have to be a watercolor, or you can use, you know, colored pencil. So, you know, some of the techniques, the artistic technique that you see, where is my, can I see my eraser? The little techniques, you can use whatever medium, you know. You can just use pencil. You can just have it black and white. And that's the thing now, that I'm making sure that I'm just trying, you know, that you can't go wrong with trying. And that's always a good thing. All right. So my leaves are a little bit funny, but once we start painting, maybe we can do it. Oh, hello there, Brenda. Hi, Marianne and Plannerettes. Nice to see you. Thank you so much for joining. My beautiful founding members are here. We're having actually, I went for my walk today and I had a great idea, so I'm going to introduce it to my founding members, and I'm so excited. Hopefully, well, it's not hopefully, I know it's going to be a really helpful thing, because I know if I had something like that, then I wouldn't go as crazy or get as anxious as I do. All right, so that's what it says. It says a tip: whenever you are sketching, take care not to press down too hard on the pencil. Oops, probably mine's a little bit harder, but that's okay. Otherwise, there is a risk that the lines could dig into the surface of the paper and still be visible even after you rub them out. That's okay. So there you go. If you're doing watercoloring, do it lightly, it says. All right, so let's turn the page. Okay, when you're happy with the sketch, start mixing 1 shade of red and 1 shade of green. Okay, now there's it goes through the book and tells you how to do the different flowers. So let me see if I can find that. So then that way I will follow. I will follow the instruction. Rose. Oh, actually, it says it. It has it on there. So if you get this book again, once again, for those just joining in, Lettering with Love, the simple art of handwriting with watercolor embellishments. And so this, I'm going to do that wreath there. All right, let me keep my book together. You can see here I already started a while ago when I did. Let me see if I can show you my little practice. A few weeks ago I practiced just doing the different whatchamacallit, paint, and that's the one I think that I tried. And then I discovered, because I didn't add enough water to the mix of the watercolor, so the more water, of course, the more diluted and lighter it looks. And then if it's not a lot of water, then the color will be bolder or, you know, darker. So I do like this sort of like this color, this effect. So I'll make sure I'll add lots of water to my watercoloring. So let me know, what's everyone doing at the moment? I know, so we have Laura who's in Costa Rica and it's morning, so I'm assuming it is Saturday morning where you are. What time is it where you are in the neck of the woods? I might just see if I can lightly erase already some of these, just so then when I watercolor over it, I'm not erasing the watercolor. And again, okay, this could be my mock-up, you know, or even if it's, I make them so beautiful, you make it look easy. Laura, it's easy when you have something to follow, right? But yeah, so just probably the pencil you use, maybe not use like a darker. Normally the softer lead is the darker, and so but that's okay. Look, we're going to have a look. See, there's my very, very light pencil. So I'm going to use maybe, I don't know. So maybe size 6. So this is size 6. I'm just going to wet that a little bit. I've got my paper towel here. And hopefully I'm going to move the paper so in case it gets wet. So they say, the watercolor experts say, spray your bottle, activate the paint so it's not dry, okay? And then grab some water. So over here, I've got some of my water, okay? I'm just going to reactivate that red from before. And then grab a little bit of red, and then I'll probably need more water there, because when I do the first paint, I know that's already probably going to be quite thick. Now there's also what they do is they recommend you can either dry paint, so as is, or you can paint water first or without any color, so then when you add the paint it's a lot more muted, okay? But we're just gonna trial whatever. You never know. Maybe I should have this my little what do you call it, swatch paper handy. Probably now that's probably quite muted. You want, I guess, the middle of the rose a lot deeper color, because it's inside, right? So it's in the shadow, like, you know, it's in the shadow, not a lot of light is hitting it, so you don't want it too watercolored down. So you'd want the inner petals of the rose a little bit darker. So now that's probably too dark, but hey, let's just go with it. Maybe I'll just add a little bit more. Okay, here is the first marking. Okie Laura says, yeah, almost 8 a.m. I'm going to make breakfast. Oh, nice. I just had a little bit of snack. Create scrapbooks. Hello, nice to see you, Terry. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you being here. Okay, here we go. Shall I zoom in a little bit? I shall zoom in a little bit. And let me move this so then I can move my paper. So I'm going to first start the inner part of the rose. Okay, so this bit here. So I'm going to follow, that's the first few steps. So the little drawings, markings I made, I may not, won't necessarily follow that. I'm going to follow what I see in the book. So here we go. I'm scared. Don't be scared, Marianne. Don't be scared. That's probably, I'm going to go and add a little bit of water to my brush because that might be too much water, but that's okay. Oh, and the other things that they do is if you do add too much color, I've seen, I have watched a little bit of watercoloring tutorials. Just pinch your paper towel into a nice little point, and then what you can do is you can suck that little bit of color if it's too much. See, did you see that? And so a lot of the color transferred onto the paper. And so if you find that you added too much color on your paintbrush, all right, so that's looking good. That's looking good, Marianne. Marianne making, giving herself a little pep talk. Hello, Angela. Nice to see you. Thank you so much for joining. Let's go. That's it. Let's go. All right, so there's my first marking. Let me move this a bit so I can move it up onto the screen. And then, of course, with the watercoloring, and it's a rose, you don't want, because remember, inside the rose, the petals are all still closed. So in order to make sure that it looks like it's all separated, we're now going to create the other petals around it and try not to join it to each other. Let's see so let me just move this. And then follow the instructions. So what you're doing here is like, I guess, creating little C's, like the letter C. Maybe add a little bit more color. Okay, and then trying not to get too close to the other C. Oh my God, that's looking good. Here I am, in awe of my great work. I think I should just leave it at that. That's it. That is my July cover page. All right, now we're going to wrap another, another big C on this side. Okay, let's have a look. That looks like what the book says. Trying not to I know probably my techniques is not, I think you're supposed to use, the side of your brush and flatten it. But hey, I'm going to, and I think that's what it is with painting and trying anything new, is that, there's the techniques that follow the rules, but then if you can find a different way that you can do it yourself, that's looking like a rose, everybody. Rose, Jack, Rose. Jack, come back. All right, okay. Now we're going to start making bigger C's. And so maybe we'll add, I think all right, so when you're happy with your sketch, start mixing one shade of red and one shade of green. If you want the colors to look a little more natural together, add a little green to the red and vice versa. Okay, I'm not doing any mixing yet. We'll just keep with the one color. Small start. This will make two colors more harmonious. Tiny amounts of color at a time. If the red gets too dark, you won't be able to lighten it again. All right, so yeah, at the moment I'm sticking to one without mixing any other color because, we're new to this and we can experiment after. Okay, now start on the rose. The petals of a rose make up a corolla that gradually becomes wider towards the outer edge. You can make use of this principle here. Start with painting the inside petals by arranging little half moons. I call them little C's in a circle. The center of the rose should be very strong in color. Good, it's strong. Continue to paint larger and larger half moons around these, adding more water to your red mix each petal. All right, so let's add more water. Actually, I have my little mist. So I'm not going to dip any more into the paint because we're not wanting to make it more deeper color. So I'm just adding more paint or adding more water. So then the outer moons or outer seas, I'm calling it, half moons, are a little bit lighter in shade. Here we go, here we go. I'm going to move this, of course. See this, I'm just painting at my desk and I've got all my other stuff around it. Okay, okay, let's go have a look. Oh. Okay, so I'm using the techniques of using the side of the brush. Maybe that's a little bit too light now. Just added a little bit of color. All right, okay, and then let's put it here. And then I'm going to turn the page so then I can get to the other sea. Half moons. So let's go here. Let's probably need more water. More water, please. More water, please. Okay. Look, even if it's not lighter than the inner, I'm okay with it. I am okay with it. All right. They're looking nice. Maybe I can use my paper towel again if I wanted to grab a little bit of the color, if I don't want it to be too deep, and then just see how I just sucked a little bit of the color from there. Let me see if I can do the same with this one, because I can always come back in and add more. I won't do that because I'm making the paint feather on the edge, so we won't do that one. All right, so let's add a little bit more water again. Let's have a look and then get into the bigger half moons. Let's probably need more color now. A little bit more color. A little bit more color. So let me know in the chat who has got their July cover page or July planner pages all set up. And remember, if you haven't, that's okay too. You don't have to have it ready by July. You can go and let's see, and then I guess now we're getting into the outer petals, and we want it to be lighter, so I'm adding more water, as you can see in the corner here. And let's do 1/2 moons here. Okay, so next time what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure I don't make my pencil markings too dark, because of course once the paint goes over it, I won't be able to erase the pencil marking as much without erasing the watercolor. And I'll probably add one more here and make the petals a little bit bigger. So I'm trying, I probably can get closer to the other petals, but I just don't want to make the colors mix, the little half moons mix. But maybe I can be daring and just go a little bit, because this is, I'm dry paintings, so on dry paper, pretty much the water, from what I've read, the water won't seep, because it is a watercolor paper. It's not going to spread in areas that you're not really painting on, apart from, if the joints like that. But hey, that's okay. Maybe I'll add a little bit more red here. So you can add, I guess, if it's looking a little bit too flat and not much dimension. Hey, this is, I'm just reading, doing this and adding maybe some color back into the, but I think I'm going to leave it at that. What do we think? Maybe make it closer. That looks like a rose, doesn't it? I think that looks like a rose. And so all it was creating little half moons, all right? So there's how you started. So little C half moons sort of overlapping each other, and then you build upon it until you get to the big rose, all right? So again, lettering with love, okay? I have it in the description if you want to check out the Amazon affiliate link. I think you're supposed to have that dry. Okay, so now continue with the branches. Again, it's a good idea at first to practice them on a scrap piece of paper. Start with the stem of one branch and you can paint along the other. All right, so let's go and practice on our little swatch. So I'm going to just let that, probably not, best not to blow or blow on it if you want it to dry. I do have like a little dryer wand, but it's over in the other side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to practice. I didn't want to do a cover for July, but you're inspiring me to do one. Yeah, like I was going to just keep the printable, the July printable, and keep it at that. But, I was sitting on the couch and I'm doom scrolling and watching so much, all these Facebook videos and reels. And I went, come on, Marianne, let's do something creative or productive with our time. All right. So let me just go and wash the brush. So then that way, clean our tools. Probably someone's probably going, no, don't pull at the brush. I don't know. I'll make sure that I look after my equipment or my tools, and I don't know where I put the little, here it is, the little cover for it. Okay, I probably will use, so that was a 6. I used a 6 size brush. Maybe I'll make a smaller one. That's probably too thin. 3 is too thin. Maybe 4. Is there a 5? Maybe a 5. I don't have a 5. A 4. Okay, so we're going to do green. So that was a green there. And let's see. Let's go and wet the brush. I think it was this green that I did. So it said practice doing the branches. So it's, as you can see up here. So whoop, 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 and whoop. And you gotta make the sound. Maybe I can add a little bit of this green, so it's not looking too bright green. And then just go, whoop. Yeah, I think that's a good practice. That's enough of a practice. And okay, so we do the branches. I'm going to look at the finished product, the finished one on this page. Oops, don't wreck the book, Marianne. Don't wreck the book. Okay, now I'm scared. I'm scared. So I'll zoom in again so it's a little bit closer. All right, maybe add a little bit of water, and then we need, I feel like there's lots of water on that. And then we'll go for that leaf there, for that leaf there, for that leaf there, and that leaf there. Let's just make that. All right. It's probably a little bit too dark, but that's a branch. That's the branch. That's okay. Okay. All right. Now, here we go. So we go, and a little branch there. And where's my other leaf? a little branch there, and a little branch there. Okay, so there we go. Charlotte, I had fun doing my July cover page this morning. Yes, Charlotte showed in the Plannerettes Inner Circle. So Charlotte's one of our founding members for the private membership that we're creating. Too much skill for me. Hey, you can use your markers. Okay, doesn't have to. I might do, if we have time. I might do what it looks like. Doing markers, because you can just draw it. All right, let's have a look. So again, it's a good idea to practice them on a scrap piece of paper. Start with the stem of one branch. You can paint along the line of the circle. Add a few stalks here and there. We did that to make the whole branch look a little fuller. To finish, add leaves to the left and right. Repeat for the branch and the other side. Okay. Now let's go practice our leaves. Let's practice our leaves. Okay, so I guess the leaves are, it goes whoop, and look, I think this one, yeah, we're going to do it like that. Right? Well, let's go try it. This is what it's about. It's about trying and not being scared. Okay, although I am scared. Okay, so whoop and whoop. Okay, let's just do that and make it a little bit pointy at the top there. There's one leaf. Oh my goodness, that's looking all right. Sometimes I surprise myself. Okay, what's next? And then this one here. Whoop. Okay, that's looking good. Oh, I like that little effect there. All right. Yeah, let's have a look. Oh, where's my mouse? Laura says, yeah, I think I'm going to try to the left to try the left to dye in the corner colored. What am I? I think I'm going to try the left to dye in the corner color pencils. I hope I read that right. All right. Okay, another add leaf to the little branch. Maybe this one is a tiny one because, oops, let's add some water. A tiny one here. And then if your leaf isn't looking too leafy, you can just keep painting around to make the shape. I mean, you look at leaves anyway, they're not like symmetrical, are they? It's not as if like, oh, they all have to match. So I'm just very lightly making the leaf, and then here, making it bigger. All right. Ooh, look at that, peeps. Oh my goodness. I'm glad I tried this actually, because you won't know what you're good at unless you try. And of course you're not going to be good, first go. And like I said, it's I'm really I'm proud of myself that I'm quite good at following instructions. If I have an instructions and I can see where you start and what the first few markings are, then I'm actually quite capable of following instructions. Okay, so, and then if it doesn't look like what the instruction is, all it is either I've created a unique style, my own style, or I just need to do practice. It's like, when you were riding a bike, yeah? It's like, we're not going to get it right the first time. And we don't tell our children that, oh, you fell off, you mustn't be good, right? We go, keep trying, you've got it. And we encourage them. And we got to start doing the same for ourselves. Why are we so critical of ourselves? We've got to be kind and just, tell us, wow, you did a great job for your first go. And the funny thing is, right, I could be critical of this now, but when it actually dries up and you go, wow, that looks really good. All right, so then I think I'm going to leave it at that. Yeah, all right, yeah. Okay, so next, let's do this side. Let's do a big one here, trying to follow that little circle of the wreath we had drawn in pencil earlier. You know what I'm going to be scared of doing is actually putting July, writing July in the middle. Because then that's, if the wreath looks really lovely and then the last touching things is like, but that's okay. You know what I can do if it doesn't work? I can always cut a piece of paper, another piece of watercolor paper, and just cover it and then try again. See? Or I can leave it as is. And here I am. Look at me telling you guys to be encouraging, and I'm already a what's the word? Someone who's already negative about even before I've started the July hand lettering. A negativist? I don't know what word I'm trying to say. All right, and then whoop, there's a little branch there. Let's add a little leaf in there. And so I'm sure you're supposed to use the technique of your brush where you press it flat and then the hair of the brush can create. But I'm not there yet, so I'm just drawing or, painting stroke by stroke. And again, you go and, wow. Marianne giggling giggling away, very proud of herself. Very proud of myself. And there we go. And then now, let's make that. And I think the other things that the watercolorist, to add a little bit of dimension, is then they just get, grab the color, so it's a little bit deeper, and then just while the painting is still wet, just add it to the tip. See how you add it to the tip, and then that's a little bit darker. So if you're finding that maybe your color has been watered down a bit, just add to the tip, and so then when it dries, it has a little bit of color. All right, how's everyone going? What are you doing? What are you up to? So it's just past midnight here, so it is now Sunday morning in Sydney, Australia. Like I said, had a nap. I had a late start to the day, worked a little bit, and then had something to eat for lunch, and then was on my phone for a little bit, and then I had a nice nap, and then went for my walk. And so if you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen that I went for a walk. I'm going to see if I can make that petal go a little bit. What number did I use? It was number 8. So then that way it's just rounded over there. I don't know if because I've made a pencil mark. And so I'm just going to continue. I don't know if this will wreck it. You know how you just go, why did you touch it, Marianne? It was fine the way it was. But, we got to try. We got to keep trying. I think that's a little bit better. Yeah, it continues the roundness of the rose a little bit better. And then just adding a little bit of color to the tip to make it, add that little bit of dimension. Marianne, stop touching it. Stop touching it. It's fine the way it is. All right. Okay. Love how this has transformed. I know, me too. I am so surprised as well. And how yeah, just tiny strokes and tiny coloring in. And I used to when I tried my hand at watercolor painting. That's hence why I bought myself a nice so this koi watercolor field set. I mean, I could have bought just the kids watercoloring, but I have this thing about me that if I want to try a new hobby, I have to get all the colors. If it's yarn, if it's paint, if it's fabric, if it's thread, if it's all the accessories, if it's markers, highlighters, I want to get all the colors. If I want to, I tried my hand at polymer clay. So I got the pasta machine, that that you can. So I've got all of those. So that's something I want to try. So each and every month, I'm going to try a new arts or craft, and so hopefully, not only will it give me confidence in trying new skills, then it's also hopefully also inspire you to add a little bit of creativity and a little bit of time for yourself while you are learning a new skill. Okay, so now the tip, it says here, tip, of course, you can vary the shapes of the flowers and leaves, and then there's the book has different variations. Now paint the circle in the same green as the leaves. Take care to draw the circle line so that the ends are just short of the leaves. So I need to make sure I leave a tiny gap. Okay, so what it's saying is to make sure not to touch. So there's the little circle pencil outline, not to touch the leaf. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to try. But what I might do is, oh, that was a size 8, lucky. That was the size 8 was for the rose. Okay, so I'm going to pop that back. And then I used a 4 for the leaves. So I had a little bit more control over it. I'm just going to clean the tools as I go, because I know what will happen is I'll move something, and if it still has the watercolor paint over it, then I'll splash it somewhere, and I don't know where here it is, the little paintbrush. Okay, so that was a 4. Maybe for the line, I'm going to try a 2. Let's see what a 2 looks like. That looks like it's a little bit more thinner. I don't want it too thin. So let's try it. Let's try our swatch. Is that too thin? Maybe a 3. I don't want it too thin because then it won't stand out as much. So not a 2, maybe a 3. Because then if it's too thin, I don't want to go over it again and then, create different thickness. Maybe I'll just go with the 4. Marianne, the 4 was fine. Okay, we'll go with the 4. Go back with the 4 because it is, even though it looks longer, it does create thin lines. Okay, quiet everybody. As if you guys are making noise or I can hear you. Steady hands, steady hands. All right, let's go. Oh, wrong way. Let's zoom in. Let's move everything out of the way. This requires steady hand. What I wonder what I might do is move the paper. Yeah. Come on, get out of the way, everybody. Marianne's doing something delicate here. See, it's hard because I would like to go over the top of it so I can see, but then you'll see the top of my head. So I'll do like this, okay? Here we go. I might just have to do little short strokes. Little short strokes. Add a bit more color to the paintbrush. Really probably should just do one long one. But because the brush is actually covering, maybe I'll go them this side, covering the pencil mark, or I may have to go over it again. No, I think that's a good thickness. Do you think that's a good thickness? Say, that's good, Marianne. Don't touch it. Uh-oh, the pencil marking. I had erased, and now I don't know where it is. Here. Okay, so it says don't touch the edge of the leaves. Okay, I won't. Oh, I tried to do it in one long swoop. Oh, that looks nice. That looks nice. I might make it a bit thicker. All right. This is where, is she going to wreck it or is she going to make it better? Oh, I'm trying to do it. One smooth stroke. Okay. One smooth stroke. It's okay actually. Actually, it's nice that it's looks a little bit wobbly. Let's do it from this side. Just deepen the color a little bit, because then of course when the watercolor dries, it's going to be lighter. Looks good. Ka-ching! Hey, I have a do I have a drum? Do I have a drum roll? Oh no, that's more of a joke. That's more the punchline, Marianne. What about this one? Oh, I don't want to touch it now and put July in the middle because I know I'll probably wreck it. No, but what we'll do is we're going to keep going. Let us practice. So I'm going to put that aside and I'm going to practice writing July on a piece of paper, under a separate piece of paper. Okay, let's have a look at our book. I'm going to put this, I was about to dry it upright, but just in case some of the watercolor paint is still quite watery, I don't want it to seep down the page or drip down the page. Okay, that's pretty, but I want July. So I'm going to do July. Let's have a look. So again, for those just joining me right now, I am using, I'm following Lettering with Love, the simple art of handwriting with watercolor embellishments. So I've got that in the description, and I won't flip through everything because of course, you know, copyright, and I don't want to share too much. It shows you different techniques, different instructions, different floral things, and then hand lettering instructions at the back. Ooh, they're pretty. See, that could be the variations that you can do. You can have tiny little roses instead of one big rose and the leaves. So it gives you different and leaves techniques. Oh, I like that one. No rain, no flowers. So I like that hand lettering. Where's that hand lettering, please? Is it this one? I think it's this one. So there's July. Is that the one? I think that I'm going to use whatchamacallit, lowercase. Fingers crossed. All right, let's practice. Now, let's look. So I'm going to use my little spray and then get the black. Okay, activate the paint. Now, so if I use number 4, that's going to create too much of a thickness of the J, because I'll probably, where is my pencil? So July. Okay, so I've just written it there, and I'm going to practice that size to see how it will look right there in the middle. Now, I don't know if I want it to be black, because then it might look too stark on there. What if I do red? No, because then it's going to look Christmassy. Okay. You're overthinking it, Marianne. You're overthinking. We're just going to go with the flow. Maybe this size. So let's have a look. Let's practice. We can practice. So this is, oh, that was the 4. All right, maybe, what's this one? 3. Okay, so let's grab, let's add some water. Oh, I think this is brown. Maybe brown might be good, and it's not too, no, I think brown. Da-da-da. Let's add. So with this one, with the lettering, you don't want it to be too watered down. I'm going to move this out of the way because I don't want it any splatter on it. Okay, so I'm just practicing on a piece of paper, a swatch paper. Let's zoom in. And so I don't know if my lettering is too close. Let's go July. So we want the downstrokes to be broader and then the upstrokes to be thinner. So, and then the little J. Let's dip again. Downstrokes and upstrokes. Downstroke, upstroke. Downstroke, up, and then down, and then down. Okay, maybe I want it a little bit more watered down. So I'm just adding a little bit more water onto the black ink on my tray. So let's have a look. J, dip, dip, dip. U, dip, dip, dip. L, dip, dip, dip. Y. Okay. So then the length of the tail of my J and U are not the same. Now let's have a look. Where's my mathematician and someone who's pedantic about. So that's about 2 centimeters. I am, and about 4. So yep, that would fit in there. And then 2 centimeters. Yeah, I think this size. Hi, Ali. Hello. How are you? Thank you so much for joining. I'm just doing my July cover page by trialing out watercoloring. So I'm nowhere an expert at all. I'm just I'm following a book with instructions. I'll show that in a second for those just joining. And I'm just practicing how to do July hand lettering. Okay. Oop, I need to add more paint on my tray, so then it's a little bit darker. Yeah, I think I like the little darker. Dip, dip, dip. Boop. Or do I want it to be a little bit smaller? So this was paintbrush number 3 size. What does a 2 look like? Or a smaller one? Where's a 2? 2 or 1? What about 1? Size 1. Okay, so I'm going to do size 1. Let me see how that looks. I'm just adding. So for those, I just zoomed in, sorry. So I'm just on the side here, just grabbing a little bit more paint, a little bit more water. And then let's try a size 1 paintbrush. I think I like the size, the thinner one. I think I like the thinner one. And then I might do, look, that's enough practicing, I think. Let's put it on. I quite like a little bit of brown on it, so then it's not so dark. Let's add a little bit of brown, dark brown to the paint. Add a little bit of water. Let's try what. Yeah, I think I like that. Then that'll won't look as stark next to the green and the red wreath. All right, that's it. This is it, Marianne. Let's just do it. You know. So take this away very lightly. very, very lightly. I learned from my lesson earlier when I did the pencil marking. So I'm going to, let me have a look. So then I can try and get this right in the middle. So it's about 4 centimeters wide and 2 centimeters height. And this is my very, very technical way of measuring the middle. I just grab my fingers like this, right? And then go whoop. So there's the middle there. And then the other side, you go whoop, there's the middle. Okay, so there's my little X. And then I'm trying to make sure not to put my ruler on the paint in case it's not fully dry. So I said it's about 4 centimeters. So it's about here is there, and then 2 centimeters height. So I'm going to just mark it here. So then that way it gives me a little bit of a guidance on how high I want my letters and then where the tail will sit. Okay, so J, U. So I want, because I want the top of the L to be there. So you don't have to be this precise, but it's just me being pedantic about making sure the July really fits in the middle there. So so half a centimeter is where I want the Marianne being. Marianne, just what happened to trialing? Just had given it a good old go. Why you have to be so precise about things? Remember, it's your rule. Okay, here we go. Fingers crossed, we're going to do July. So now that I've done that, I don't want the tail to be that long. So let's go and do that too. So let's go here, here, and here. Marianne, don't touch the other paint. Don't touch this, it hasn't dried. All right, let's just do this. Let's just do this. Let's roll up our sleeve. So we want the J. Breathe in, breathe in. J-U-L-Y. Okay. I don't know, all my lines now are all over the place. Okay, let's go. Marianne, why aren't you moving? Why aren't you making the first mark? Here we go. Let's go. Let's do it. J. U. Boop. The other part of the U. Whoop. And L. Upstroke. Dip, dip, dip. Y. Y. Y is a crooked letter, and Z is no better. Ooh. And then I'm going to do a little flourish. Boop. Is that good? Is that in the middle? Look, it's done. It's done, Marianne. You know, parts of me are going, is it really in the middle? Is it really in the middle, Marianne? Let's add a little flourish to this. Add a little bit more color to this. And then if you find that the edges are a little bit jaggy, oh, I keep going the wrong way. I have to learn my camera and which ways to zoom. If you see how the edges, you can just dip into your little paint and then just very, 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 very carefully just go and tidy it up if you want to. Okay, I really shouldn't, because I know if I do something and I make these little changes, somewhere along the line, I'll wreck it and stuff it up, but that's okay. There we go. That is it, everybody. That is my July cover page. I am quite proud of that. I'm going to leave it as is. Who knows? Maybe I'll add something else. I don't know. I'm being picky with my July. What else can I add to it? It's good. Looks so beautiful. Thank you, Laura. I think I'm going to leave it. I'm going to also say it looks good for my first try, and you saw me do it in real time, following the instructions of the book. Now let me just put my tools aside and clean up as we go. Oh, well, you know what I might add to it? Maybe off screen, like these little. Where's the little effect? I saw. So it's got little different. There's that one. You can do keep simple. That's the one that I did, but then I put July instead of. Hey, there you make it. That's like my writing. What I might do is, oh, look at that. That's a little bit fancier. So if you want to make birthday cards or greeting cards, and then, imagine if you're cut your watercolor paper to a greeting card size, fold it in half, and then practice these things. And then at the end of it, you have lovely greeting cards to give to your family and friends. Oh, I like that one too. That's pretty. I thought that might have been a little bit complicated for today's. See, I can even do maybe, I might, so then it just doesn't look so stark on the white background. I might even add the little leaves and splatter. Shall I splatter now? No, because then I probably won't splatter on my planning desk, and I don't have an apron on or a paint smock, and I know I'll get something all over the place, or I'll stain some pen or something. So I might do some splatter, and I might do some leaves, similar leaves in the edges. But yeah, so there we go. Lettering with Love by Sue Hippler and Yasmin Reddick, and I have it in the my description, so check the link. And then I'm gonna have that there. This one here is the Koi what is it, watercolors, and it's the pocket field set. It comes with a paintbrush already, and then you can fill out the paintbrush with water. So then you can go and, if you want a paintbrush when you're out and about, you can do that. Actually, I'm going to just wipe them off because I'll probably use the tray for other color. And then the tray has these little legs that you can then pop in these holes here. So then you can, while you're painting, hold it, and you've got your tray. You can have the tray there, or you can have the tray here. See? And then it's all there. So that just goes there. And then these paint brushes, they come in a set. And so it's just acrylic brushes in different sizes. And I've got the one, I think these ones, the same ones in the description. And then I couldn't find this in the Amazon store, so you might have to check if any arts and crafts store near you. The Express It Fine Mist Sprayer, so then that's really good because then it can spray. You can control the amount of water you add to your paint. The little tub, I just got this from Kmart here in Australia, but I've put in the description other options that, little paint tubs, that this is collapsible. So then if you are out and about, or you don't have a lot of, storage space, then you can do that. I haven't added this in the description, but I'll make sure. So this is a Slendy Plus eraser. So again, on the go, and then you can, the little eraser gets, you press that button to release it, and then you can control the what you're erasing because it's nice and thin. The mechanical pencil I used was a Pilot, H325 0.5. So you know, if you're going to do paint watercolor painting, just make sure, like the tip says in the book, don't press too hard, because then you may not be able to erase it once you painted over it. Actually, that's looking quite good. Once I erase all my pencil marking, and then I think if I do, I'll do a little bit of, I might mix a little bit of green with that color. Oh, I shouldn't have wiped that, because then I could have just mixed the two. Do some splatter, and maybe not even do any leaves on the side, but maybe some splatter so it doesn't look so stark against the white background. What else did I use? And then I used the Sunstar book clip to keep the book open. So then this one is really good. I use this, mate, well, actually for my planner and for my traveler's notebook, or any of my planner pages where the binding is too thick. And so this curved middle here will allow for you to go and keep your book or planner open, especially if the planner that you have is not doesn't sit flat. This is a nice little clip that you can have there, or of course for your book, if you're, you know, if you have you're cooking and you're at your desk, at your kitchen. This is just a IKEA book stand or tablet stand. So it actually, the lip at the bottom there can keep the book sort of like flat. What else did I have? I think that's it. That's all that I had. And then just paper towel handy. And then this one is actually just, you know, a placemat. So then that way, if I do make any mess, it's not, because this is a vinyl cover on, you know, I have lots of these IKEA desks when I did sewing and all that stuff. So a lot of scratches, a lot of stains. And so what I do is I just buy a vinyl cover. And then I just replace it when it gets a little bit tatty and a little bit old, or it gets scratched, or the corners are peeling on the side here, as you can see there. But yeah, so whatever, you know, go to your local not warehouse, you know, home place, and vinyl wallpaper or vinyl adhesive. If you have a desk and you're not liking it, maybe you don't like the brown color or whatever it is, good way to bring it back to life is a vinyl. So that's good. Laura says, I'm glad I catch the live. You make my morning so beautiful. Thank you for your beautiful work, and wish you all have a good weekend. Bye, Laura. See you around. I'll see you. So the next live stream here on YouTube will be my Monday, the 30th of June, 5 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. And then I'll make sure I'll pop that in the YouTube and actually schedule it, and not just schedule it a minute before. It is now just under 18 minutes before 1 a.m. here on a Sunday morning in Sydney. Thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate you so much. Hope that, oh no, hope you enjoyed me doing my July monthly cover page with trying out my watercoloring. And so I'll pop that in my planner, and I might probably glue the back of my calendar onto it, so then that way it's all included together. Hope you had a great time. Now make sure, if you did, of course, like this video, I would appreciate a like, because that really does help my channel a lot. And of course, if you haven't yet subscribed, make sure you do, because I love seeing the numbers go up. You know, it's still a vanity metrics, but it tells me that, that I am loved. I mean, I know you love me already, but thank you so much. I will see you all next time. Bye, everybody. Bye-bye.